It's January 20th, 2022. It dawns on me today, like relative material facts. I come from the bloodline of Mary. I'm pretty sure, like Camp David types should know that I come of, for this Virgin Mary thing, I come of the bloodline of Mary. Um, then there's this I've heard, and very surface speaks of Old Kingdom, New Kingdom, as far as star maker, clockmaker, as a mother of the line of Virgin Mary. Um, I have this very special son, which has like a celestial body reference to it. And again, um, so passing through the House of August, and then, however, it lined up into my arrival, and then into the arrival of, I mean, again, I've seen several reference on like the magical elections of whatever they're mentioning. I just watched a movie, Pale Blue Eye, with Linda. I couldn't watch it all in one sitting. It was a lot to digest and unpack. But it was more poetry, for most of the scenes, until one scene where my stomach was in my chest, and it was horrid, and it was just like more one of these. Um, but it doesn't remind me of script. It reminds me more of poetry. It's a different, again, but that's like between the farmer's Hollywood and the Shakespeare's Hollywood. Um, for whatever that's supposed to mean, and whatever. This morning, the humans alerted me that, again, like there's a star brother, um, who plays this game of football, American football, that I have not watched or followed. I don't have anybody to teach me of this football, or any reason to even whatever. I had no idea that one of the neighboring states has a rivalry with the Giants. There's something called an Eagles, and there's something called the Giants. Even though the Giants say they're New York, there's something with Tri State. Again, I'm trying to listen to this through their perspective. And again, I don't know anybody at Academy. Oh, and I put up this morning too. Somebody put up, finally, the reference for like the heart throbs of like the 1980s, which are the arrivals from 1950s and 60s, for that 50s and 60s show, of like show me what you got kind of a thing. They put them all in a flatbed that was like this bluish color, but it had like dirt on the bed. Like it wasn't like that 70s show when they arrived in the 90s, when it was my turn. Somebody, I wrote on Facebook this morning, I took that example, and I'm like, some part of my American dad, the part of the God that was sending me signs that somebody actually did care, um, before it went horribly wrong, sent me to a private beach on the same island that I live on, but just some form of an invitation somebody drove. I went. And then there, when I got out, there were lights, at one point, I think, that went on, and there was a black flatbed truck with like heartthrobs that I had never seen before. But then again, I don't really follow Hollywood, and I don't know if there's another version of it somewhere else. So they put, and that's, I had a meeting with, um, it was just for, I guess, a few hours, but um, that's like the menu order. Like, Dad sent a very specific group of choices for which we had a great time. I remain Virgin Mary. And and there was some form of selection, I suppose. I didn't really need more options than that, but I was happy with what was sent and was whatever about bringing in the special child with whatever was sent. How it ever got derailed. I mean, that was, I think I was either 15, 16, or 17. I was one of those ages. It was before whatever happened with Jacobson that sent us back to Queens, where Lewis lost Douglas Bremen for I don't know what reason. Um, these like mini social attacks. I again, I don't know why. Um, some form of internal security, I assume. So I don't know. Um, and the only Philadelphia reference I have is when Marie and I went to Mexico. There was the Senior Frogs night where Rooster followed me home, and I was chicken on that. And I was happily on whatever. And then for some reason, there was um, some guy Maria met named Lou. He invited me to Philadelphia. I went to Philadelphia. I got sick in Philadelphia, and then I took a train ride back to New York. I did not know it might not be safe. Um, so I don't know what that was about. Um, but I got to meet one real live Philadelphia family with real Philadelphia accents. I knew nothing about Philadelphia. I certainly didn't know that they had a rivalry with New York. I'm finding that out now. The family, or Lou, that had invited me there, and I remained very Virgin Mary on that trip as well. Um, they were very um, cordial, let's say, um, and it was, for me, it was a um, really nice interaction, the way that my Italian side would have approved of for the West Virginia side of the family. Um, anyhow, only time I've ever met real people from Philadelphia ever. And they were incredibly gracious with my one visit, which I greatly appreciated. I got into and out of Philly safely. I did not know that there's some rivalry in Jersey between something called an Eagles and a Giants. I still don't know what that's about. Um, I don't know anything about these teams. And then on the news, they were putting this morning, I taped these little segments they were doing, trying to like do this rivalry between the news stations elsewhere and the news stations in New York. I didn't even know that that was a thing. And one of the newscasters has a helmet on, and he had on like a suit that was adorned in eagle stuff. Again, I don't really know the backstory on any of this stuff, but I witnessed it this morning going, now that is really unusual. I wonder what's going on. So anyhow, um, and then in New York terms, I went for an exercise this morning. I ran, my attempt at running, but continuous without without stop. And the first lap around the lake, there was something being burned. It smelled like somebody was burning rubber or plastic or some thermoplastic. I don't know what, but it filled the air. It was so toxic and potent. It smelled so bad. Um, I don't know what that was about. This morning I saw it looked like a tour bus, said Anderson on the side of it. I don't know what that was about. Um, but I'm like, that's really unusual. And so, and also there's been this um, RV parked over by the lake this morning. There was a different, what looks like surveillance van, and then NYPD. At one of my laps, NYPD pulled up and was just sitting there. I did the lap, and then when I went back the second time, I mean, I went 8 laps, so they were gone. But the smell was only once, and then later, I smelled the same smell again. It came in through the window. So I don't know if it's something in the area. I don't know where it's coming from, but the smell, I've smelled it once before on the street where I could actually identify it, and it they have this, it's not tar any longer, TAR. It's something called thermoplastics, and it gives off such a stench. It does not smell like something healthy. Um so it just like lingered, and then it felt like it came through the windows into the living room. Linda smelled it as well. But that's the second time today that I've smelled that level of toxicity where my olfactory picks it up like that. Um, so I'm gonna put on this Tune In With Me from this morning, just not the actual cartoons, but like the part of it, because he references this game, and I didn't even know that there was something called a Remco. But that for me, I'm like, now, does that have anything to do with the dream state and REM? Like that gets confusing. So I called that this morning. Um, and there was something I watched, and again, I don't even want to reference it, but I watched Dragnet this morning, and I'm on the fence with it of like what implied logic and physics. There's like an Adams 12 looking officer in it, and then there's this other thing, and I'm just like, ay, on this. And then I haven't watched Perry Mason, Matlock, and In the Heat of the Night. I taped them. It's not my genre. It isn't. I mean, again, I don't want to, like, going back to the pale blue eye, I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence or competence, but like, I mean, I'm looking at this stuff, like, if this is Night Court, and I'm like, what is going on? So this says Fantastic Friday, number 62, S1E441. So it's Friday, January 20th, 2023.
MeTV is memorable entertainment television. Today on Tune In With Me, Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd star in an opera. Popeye and Olive Oyl go ice skating. And it's Fantastic Friday! Jinx! He's always quiet. For his succotash. You're despicable. It's Tune In With Me. Hello and welcome.
And this particular color has reference or relevance as far as I'm concerned.
Welcome to the show, Tuners. I'm Bill, your cartoon curator, and right over there is my pal, Tinny the Tuna.
And it's another fantastic Friday, where the show is all about you, our fans.
So let's get right into our first question. This comes to us from William of Atlanta, Georgia.
William asks, hey, Bill, do you have any game-related stuff in your collection? Well, I think everything Bill owns is a collectible in this cruel game of life. And no, I'm not talking about the board game.
William, I do have a bunch of games in my collection, but I brought in one that I think you'll really enjoy. Long before there was Rubik's Cube, Tinny, there was this, the Frustration Ball by Remco. I'll explain what you need to do here. You want to get this little black ball in cup number 1. That's pretty easy to do. But then you want to flip it around to get it from cup 1 to cup 2 to cup 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. It sounds easy, but it's not, thus the title, Frustration Ball.
Yeah, have you ever gotten all 8?
Toonie, in all the years I've been playing with Frustration Ball, I've gotten from 1 to 6 on 2 occasions. I've never gotten to 7 or to 8. Very frustrating.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you hit 6,
Yes.
are you excited or are you disappointed?
Toonie, it's akin to when a bowler is about to throw or roll a 300 game and they only have one more to get the strike.
Right.
That's how I feel when I get into the 5 and 6 range. I completely shut down. I crawl into a fetal position and just lay in the corner for a while.
Yeah, sounds like a really fun game.
Yep, the Frustration Ball by Remco.
Yeah, thanks for your question there, William.
How about we watch a cartoon about somebody who's having an existential crisis? Sylvester's son takes him to see a cat psychiatrist in this one, and it's called Freudy Cat.
I did it!
You did what?
All 8. I did your Frustration Ball. Wasn't that frustrating?
So the dragnet this morning was called the Trial Board S10E14. I really have to sit down and process that one. There's a whole lot of words I've heard before, but I have no idea what it actually means or looks like. And I haven't sat to go through each and every one of them. Now this is this morning. I heard this rivalry come up. I think it was at 5 a.m. was the first time I heard it mentioned. It was CBS 2 News this morning at 5 a.m. First time I ever heard about this Philly and New York rival.
Rivalry that began in the 30s now.
Oh, and I should mention, when I was at St. Dominic's, year that my cheerleading, like Letterman's jacket was stolen, after waking up on Nick Santarella's lawn and not knowing what happened. Same dangerous year, same dangerous place over by the old president's, the Roosevelt estate, the family estate, in Oyster Bay. Same school that I was going to, we got asked, or we got sent to the National Cheerleading Conference. And there, something happened. I think I sprained my ankle or whatever. And whatever. Just.
Oh, they meet again on Saturday.
Well, it's Philadelphia, you know. Who else throws snowballs at Santa Claus?
And Pat, that is a great question. We're going to take a look at the City of Brotherly Love's fan base and what they've done that some say makes them the worst fan base in football.
And after we handed off to CBS More.
Now, it was weird because last night they were saying like New York has steaks and Philly has cheese over steaks. And I'm like, and then they were going over the amount of tall buildings in New York and how Philly doesn't have as many. And I'm like, what are they getting at here in this type of comparison? Now here's CBS News at 6 a.m.
At our sister station in Philadelphia.
When's the last time you won a Super Bowl?
Well, I think 2011, but we'll get to that in just a second.
Okay. Well, this team
has-
of yours, the New Jersey Giants, you call them, so this is your collection of clothes from the New Jersey Giants.
Well, this
making us mad.
We got a lot of them, by the way.
Chris and I had some fun with our counterparts, anchors Jim Donovan and Janelle Burrell. You can see.
Now, he said New Jersey Giants, which is really confusing considering they're adorned in a NY lettering, which also confuses me living in New York. I know they have some tri-state affiliation, not quite sure what that's about. So I'm going to pause this and go to the next time that they brought it up. Right here.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mary and Chris, so good to see you. How are you?
Oh, it's wonderful to see you both. All of us are counting down to the big game. And Jim, I'm noticing this amazing suit that you
Wow.
have on.
Do you like?
Here.
Like his getup? I mean, come on, Jim, stand up so you can show them the full thing.
pants.
He's got the pants,
Holy
he's
cow.
got the
Oh,
jacket,
check this out.
and he's got the helmet too.
Yes.
That is something else.
I hope you have something like that.
You know what? I feel totally underdressed right now, but I do have something to hopefully
All right.
combat Jim. So I've got, let's see, I've got one Eli Manning jersey here that I wore to 2 of the 4 Giant Super Bowl victories that I attended. I have my Daniel Jones, which I wear now because I'm a huge supporter of Daniel Jones. I have my boyhood idol, Phil Simms, which is a classic Giant throwback that I constantly wear just around the house.
We
And
could
then
be here for a while.
what's this? Oh, this is another Eli Manning jersey that I have, but this is my favorite. This is special made from a good friend of mine, Joe Ruback, license plate guy. This is my adult idol, Eli Manning, and the Super Bowl patches on the front and on the back. As I mentioned, my
Amazing.
boyhood idol. There are 2 Super Bowl patches. We got 4 Super Bowls.
And
as
let
Giant.
me ask you a question,
And
though,
then-
Chris. When's the
and then-
last time you won a Super Bowl?
Well, I think 2011, but we'll get to that in just a second.
Okay. Well, this
This
team
has-
of yours, the New Jersey Giants, you call them, so this is your collection of clothes from the New Jersey Giants.
Well, I'm a season ticket holder. I grew up in the shadows of Giant Stadium, so no one can ever question my fandom. And then this is something I wanted to show you real quickly. This is hand knitted. This is custom made. This, my grandmother-in-law made this for me, and my baby boy, when my baby boy Christian was born, he was in this on this earth for just seconds before he was wrapped in this blanket. I was hoping and praying that this Giant fan would rub off on him. And now we fast forward years later. I've been taking him to Giant Stadium, MetLife Stadium, for the past 3 years, and now he is what we call a super fan too. So I know that it did in fact work. Christian is a huge Giant fan, as you can see there. He had a undefeated record at Giant Stadium this year, and my daughter Wynn, who I did not wrap in this blanket at the request of my wife, she has turned into a Giant fan as well. So
children are
the
gonna need
family is on
therapy.
board.
Listen,
He
Christian
needs no suit.
There you
and
go.
when
I need no
they
suit. I've got all my proof right here, guys.
And they're
I
adorable.
we hand it off to you and show us, because we know you guys are huge Eagle fans, being from New York and all.
Oh, Chris, you went there. See, I was going to start with saying
We're
it's
smart enough to
undisputable.
leave New York.
Your kids are adorable, Chris, but I would say they'd look a lot cuter in some Eagles getup.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we'll work on sending something to Christian and Wynn for you. Jim, tell them about the gear you have.
Yeah, this is 100% polyester. You can go out in the rain, the water just rolls right off of it. I mean, you'll never get hit by a SEPTA bus here in the city wearing this thing.
And what's the Giants' record right now, pray tell, Chris? Could you remind us?
Well, you know what? All I can say is this weekend they go head to head, so it doesn't matter what our record has been all season. It's just about what happens this weekend. So
How
why
about
don't
we
we?
talk some weight?
Yeah, why don't we make a little fun this?
All right, what you got, Mary?
I say we bring. We send you a couple pizzas.
Oh my God, your crappy food again. What is it with you with the food?
We love food. We love food. up
I
here.
understand that. We've got amazing restaurants and food here.
I will say, Chris and Mary, you know I adore you both. Spent many years with you on the morning show up there in New York. But Philly, the food here is pretty darn good. You got some stiff competition. So we raise you some Philly cheesesteaks. How about that?
Woo! All right, we send you 2 pizzas. You send us 2 dozen.
2 dozen, yes, from Gino's too. I don't want any of that Wawa stuff. I want Gino's, okay?
You got it. You got it. The bet is on. What do you say, Jim?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I like it.
I will
We'll
wear
get
a
the
Giant.
thing.
Listen, I will wear a Giants, whatever that outfit is, and I'll run up the stairs of the steps of the art museum
Oh.
if we lose.
All right. What do you guys
You know
have
what?
for that?
You guys beat us this week, and you give us the points, and we'll give you whatever you want. And you
heard
do likewise,
that.
Fred.
Whatever we want, Chris and Mary. That sounds good to me.
Guys, good luck to you down there. You're going to need it this weekend. Our Giants are coming south, and we're going to take it to you. So we'll see what happens come Sunday morning.
All I have to say is Saquon Barkley is a Penn State grad, like myself. Chris and Mary, good to see you guys.
Eagles
Good luck.
And the North Jersey Giants. Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
We'll see what happens.
Uh-huh.
Get ready to see this jersey running up and down your field at the link. All right, there you go.
I'm
Bye,
looking
guys.
forward to the pizza. See ya.
I don't really know if that was as awkward for everybody else as it was for me. Like, what does that mean? Like, what are they talking about? Again, haven't really had a reason to watch football. Nobody's explained why the sport is more important than other sports. What does it mean? What symbols? Like, do we stay with our home team? Like, there's been nothing. So this gets, again, there's been no social benefit here. Like, there's been no efforts. I didn't go to States College. I went to Empire State late in life, but they didn't have the stuff that some of the other state colleges have. So that gets confusing. But like these like cryptic or cryptid messages, no idea what that even means to Homeland Security and to my children's future and my own safety. And I live here. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.